Hello and welcome, it's episode 39. The last, that's me alt-tabbing to see the episode list. Probably the last mission of Yelnya. And some tanks appeared, and my thought is that we just keep my infantry where it is. Try and take out the anti-aircraft gun and these two tanks here to just stop them from running off into the sunset. Right, before we do anything, we got to use our double strike, no retaliation boy. To help put an end to this anti-aircraft gun's ambitions. Man, there's even opportunities here for the old fighter to get some actual serious kills. Oh, there's another one up there. What is that? KV-40. I'd love to capture that. Unfortunately, there is just no way on this universe that that tank gets up there in 3 turns. Even if I had access to railway lines. So, I'm just going to have to settle for sweet, sweet tank kills. You know what, I hope that these guys come running into the forest, because I will devour them. Right, obviously you just put some hurt on the artillery just to make sure it can't get anything done. But yeah, these tanks cannot do anything. You don't attack infantry in a friggin' forest tile, especially when it's been sat there for a little bit. So some of it is actually, these two are actually quite heavily entrenched. Which makes them a bona fide scary target. Right, speaking of bona fide scary targets, let's do something about this. Let's have old Stewie delete this. Boom. Alright. This thing can't attack anything without receiving the wrath of all of my artillery. What we can do is create a potential encirclement here. Just purely for our own entertainment. I say that like making an encirclement against these bunkers is easy, which it is not, but anyway. Lol, what are you going to do with 1 damage, my friend? Oh ho ho! Yeah, that was also a mistake. Yeah, he's not attacking. Hey guys, more free tank kills. Sweet. This is amazing. This is great EXP. This is disgustingly awesome EXP. I mean, it's almost worth putting the hurt on these tanks. I need to move this here to stop this from just racing around. I mean, 1 for 3, we could repair that next turn. Man, this is a fantastic opportunity to put hard kills on units that suffer from not usually being able to get them. Nice, they got 4. So infantry really struggles to get hard kills normally. Unless your victims are silly enough to be sat inside the unless your victims are silly enough to be sat inside potential close combat tile. Okay, put you here. He is now encircled. Artillery fully in position to support, so if he attacks, he's going to get hit by a literal universe of fury. Oh, 24 for 1! Have you ever seen such a bad ratio in your life? 24 for 1. That's brutal. We are beating them, comrade! 24 to 1! That is amazing! How do you kill 24 Germans with just 1 Russian? It is not what we meant. Oh man. This is amazing. So many tank and infantry kills here. This is going to make a huge difference to this thing. Finally got +1 hard on the monster that is my my hurricane. Sadly, +1 soft seems like a long dream away. Who knows? Maybe one day in the future I'll cross-class to try and spread the awards out. Still, you know, these guys are actually picking up aerial kills like they're fighters at the moment, which is pretty impressive. So cross-classing these to pick up +1 to air seems like it will almost be unnecessary. There's that infantry there. Spice up their life. Tank made the repairs. You know I could pin that tank. You know what? I might be able to capture this. It's pinned. All I need is something to give it a love tap. That's got envelopment. I guess with the bunkers in the way, it seems unlikely that I'll get it. What I need is a surrender tank, but the nearest one is 1,000,000 miles away. "17 suppressed now." Looks like Stewie can just kick the door in now. Seven. They've got eight combat left. Yeah, there's only a couple of turns left. It's a waste of time. Ooh, really? Okay, well. Alright. Oh man, it looks like they're running out of it looks like they're running out of money. They're running out of money. This is the final turn. Do you know what? It's not even worth trying to get a surrender out of that. Let's just put those kills on units. Makes sense to me. Just put those kills on units. All right. And I guess we're done here. Another hard-fought battle, another victory, mine heir. Heir to the throne. Considering how much damage we have done, it is shocking to see our enemies field such a powerful concentration of forces against us. New intelligence reports seem to indicate that this was the last of their reserves, Herr Huckman. We should only be so lucky. High Command certainly seems to think so. They're ordering all forces approaching Moscow to divert to Kiev. It must be easy to point at maps and change the course of armies. The trip alone will be exhausting for our forces, to say nothing of the upcoming fighting to be expected. Historically, the Yelnya offensive may not have been the huge success the Soviet leaders were hoping for, but the battle marked an important milestone of the war. For the first time since the beginning of the war in 1939, German forces had been firmly pushed back. In recognition of this, several units that participated in the offensive would be reclassified with a new name to define their veteran status. They would be the first units to earn promotion to becoming elite Soviet Guard units. The people who survived the battle, i.e. that one KV in the top corner. Oh, that was brutal. That, my friends, was a one-sided reckoning. Glorious as it was. Okay. Let's see what the Russians have got for me next. I tell you what though, that map could easily go horribly wrong. If you let the Russians get in position on the other side of the river, you're going to be in big trouble. Because it's going to be ages before your air forces can help you. And having all those 21cm guns and 15cm guns and Katyushas on the other side of the river on the hills bombarding you, that's going to be a nightmare. Process of making several reorganization efforts to try and make this detour as efficient as possible. Under the suggestion of Lieutenant Gerd Hart, we've scaled back our deployment size. There's a lot of ground to cover and we should only need a smaller combat-ready force to clear a path, while the rest of our units rest and remain in transports. We can also safely reserve our fighter cover for the time being. We really did make quite an impact against the Red Air Force, and continue to reap the benefits. As before, I'll keep in contact with you from the battlefield. In fact, we're just about to crest a hill. Should give us a good vantage point to plan our advance from. To avoid the vast Pripyat marshes, we've had to take a little bit of a detour before swinging south to Kiev. The most important city along this route is Gomel, so we need to start there. Capture Gomel. Wagner's half-track survives the battle. Wagner, what is that sound in the background? One moment. Vater, was ist? Ambush, ambush, back up, back. The sound of gunfire cuts off Hauptmann and Wagner before the radio falls silent. Hauptmann, are you there? He was not that far ahead of us. We should be able to catch to his position quickly and find out what happened. End briefing. Haha, counter battery. Counter battery. What an interesting hero. The thing is, artillery that most benefit from this already have it. You fire back against artillery that is in your range. So you need to have a lot of range for that to be useful. And the biggest artillery that has the most range already has that. I guess you could stick it on a 15cm gun. With old Kloss. And effectively get one of the biggest benefits of a 21cm gun, which is the ability to counter battery artillery. Man, that is a very good hero. Not as good as the AT or artillery support one, but there's definitely utility for that somewhere. But it's going to have to be as an addition to an artillery unit. I can't see it being useful anywhere else. Interestingly, the old crappy train. The problem with the train is it hasn't got... See, it's got 3 range, which is quite nice. But it hasn't got any artillery attributes at all. No artillery support, no counter battery, no AT support. It would take so many heroes to make this thing useful. And even then, its stats are no better than like a 2 or 3 slot artillery. A normal one. That's not so limited on where it can go. Yeah, counter battery definitely not useful on anything that's not an artillery. Because it's you know, artillery attacks at range, so you know, the odds of your tank or whatever being next to an artillery piece that's firing is pretty low. It strikes me that it's most going to be useful on a 15cm gun to give it the one thing it doesn't have, which is counter battery. And that maybe old Kloss, wherever she is, she might actually be very powerful on a 15cm gun now, because she wasn't that useful on a 15cm gun before, because a 15cm gun has got plenty of ammo, and more often than not you do not want to be shooting at some target that's 4 tiles away, 3 or 4 tiles away. But she was useful on the 21cm gun purely to extend the range of the counter battery ability, which is really the main benefit of the 21cm, is the why you bring it along. If 15cm guns had counter battery, you would never bring along a 21cm gun unless, you know, except to use a 0 slots hero, for example. Because the bottom line is that, yeah, it's got 1 more range, but the fact that it doesn't support against infantry does make it a little bit awkward to use as an artillery piece. In a defensive capacity, anyway. Maybe that's too strong of a statement. Maybe you would bring a 21cm gun along, but one of the biggest reasons to bring a 21cm gun to any party is for counter battery. That is, to me, that is its main purpose, is to prevent enemy artillery from firing. So you put Kloss on there so that you get a bigger bubble of artillery denial. But actually, if you put her on a 15cm gun along with counter battery, then what you get is you get effectively a standard 21cm gun, but you get it in 15cm flavor, which is cheaper, considerably slot cheaper, and also, presuming that you're paying for the slots, of course, also has artillery support. Which is sort of the funny part is that you could take the logic in the other direction and say, well, why don't you put artillery supports on 21cm guns and say goodbye to all the 15cm guns? I do have 2 artillery support heroes. So you could, in theory, put artillery support on 21cm guns instead, and kiss goodbye to 15cm guns. But the issue with that is the artillery support hero is really good on normal units, because normal units can use it better than artillery can. Normal units can basically be artillery defending a front line and hit vastly harder than artillery can, because they don't have the suppression trait. So they just do raw kills. But the converse is not true of counter battery. Counter battery only works if you can see the attacking artillery and it attacks a unit in your range, and you also have range on the artillery. That means that you have to be a long-range unit, which is only artillery. There are no other units in the game that are long-range against ground. Obviously, anti-air is long-range against air, but not against ground. So you can use counter battery to make a 15 centimeter into a 21 centimeter, and that's not a waste. But it is a waste to put artillery support hero on a 21 centimeter gun, because that trait is way better on normal units. And frankly, that trait is amazing on every unit. So if I had infinite heroes, you would put artillery support on basically everything that doesn't have it. To create this horrible ball of reciprocal fire that would prevent anything from attacking anything else without attracting the attention of literally every other unit it was touching. It would be insane. If you could put artillery support on every unit and AT support on every unit, you would just have a ball of units that every time someone attacked one unit, you would have the whole group just return fire, which would be disgusting. But I do think that artillery support works best on extremely high volume of fire anti-infantry units, big soft attack scores, and rapid fire if they've got it. In fact, later in the war it's probably best on recon cars, because recon cars start to get the crazy soft attack scores that these things have got. They're easier to position, and they almost always come with rapid fire as well. So at some future point in the war we might see these move from this to this as better infantry hosing. So anyway, there's depth and complexity to that hero, to counter battery. No, sorry. There's depth and complexity to the artillery hero, because there's so many ways to utilize it effectively. It's such a powerful hero and so useful. It could literally be added to anything and it would be of benefit. But there's not really anything to do with the counter battery hero, except to put it on an artillery, one that doesn't have counter battery. And it's useless to put it on anything with 2 range or less, because you're just not going to get hits. And that excludes most artillery that doesn't have it. You're not going to get counter batteries with 2 range. Also, units like the friggin' Waffle that have hardly any ammo are going to struggle to be useful as counter battery anyway. Unless you're willing to put Coloss on one of these and counter battery together, then the Waffle could be an incredibly powerful counter battery agent because of rapid fire 2x. But 3 range is, in my opinion, 3 range is really on the edge of being useful for counter battery. You want 4, and you want 4. You want 4 because artillery typically has 3 range or less. So what you're saying is, if this is my frontline unit here, and my artillery is here behind it, defending it, then when an enemy artillery piece comes from another direction and attacks, it's going to be, if it's shooting at maximum range, it's going to be 3 tiles away. So if there's 15 centimeter guns here, or waffles or whatever, but let's say 15 centimeter guns or 12 centimeter guns that have got 3 range, they're going to be at this distance, which means, so say it's going to be here, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be attacking me from 3 range, which means I need 4 range to shoot back, to be guaranteed to shoot back. So that's why 4 range is like the special number, basically. 4 range plus counter battery means that you are going to hit 15 centimeter guns and all artillery below that, attacking your front line as long as your artillery is just behind the front line, which is normally where it is. So, yeah. 15 centimeter gun plus Kloss really kind of shoehorns in where that hero will be useful. It's actually genuinely not very useful on any other setup. Really drilling down into it, there's only one thing you can do with it. Literally one thing. And that is to put it on this. Take fast deployment off and put Kloss on. That is literally all you can do with it, which means moving Kloss to make this guy useful, and therefore create a 15 centimeter, a 21 centimeter like tool out of a 15 centimeter gun. Which, it's not the biggest deal that this loses her, because she was on this because there was really nothing better to do. And 4 to 5 range is not the biggest difference. It gives you a little bit more spread, but unlike the magic number of 4 range, it doesn't necessarily increase the amount of things you're going to hit. Because if you've got that donut formation where you've got your units with artillery in the middle, then 4 range is all you need to prevent all attacks. What was useful with 5 range is that you could counter battery 21 centimeter guns. So there was that benefit. And there certainly was a lot of 21 centimeter guns on the last map. So there is a benefit to it. But yeah, in order to get anything out of this guy, I guess we have to do it like this. Right, anyway, I need to think about this as well, because I'm not certain that this should be on here particularly either. This is also an amazing this is an amazing hero, which I put on here for I'll undo it for now. For defensive reasons. I wanted to be able to counter battery attackers. We saw tons of artillery on the last map, so we really needed that powerful counter battery, but that's probably not necessary anymore, so we could probably do with figuring out a better use for that, probably on one of my tanks or something similar. Anyway, that's enough spewing out thoughts for me. That is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and will join me next time. We've got a deployment phase with vastly less core slots, so we're gonna have to figure out what we're taking, what we're not taking, as we go about our business killing all the things. So I will see you guys next time.